So, welcome to each and every one of you from whichever part of the universe you're in. Welcome to Mind Architecture's Another Point of View. And this is really our first installment, so it's awesome and we're excited. And today, we're going to think a little bit. You know that feeling when you're arguing with someone and you're absolutely right, but then 3 hours later, you're in the shower, you're sitting in your comfortable chair at home, you're sipping on a glass of wine, and in reflection, you suddenly see their point. Yes, that's not regret. That's your brain doing something really magical. So we're going to discuss a few magical things about your brain today. So welcome to Mind Architecture. I'm a psychologist and therapist who believes that the most underrated superpower isn't super strength, or as most of you desire to have, invisibility, which is so funny. It's actually another point of view. Today, we're rebuilding your mental lens. We're talking metacognition, cognitive clarity, self-awareness, and of course, performance, because we're performance-based. Everything that we do and we apply, that we learn, must increase your performance. So these are all trending brain tools you've seen maybe on TikTok, but here with zero fluff and 100% usable and relatable psychology. So by the end of the next 12 minutes, you'll be able to kind of step outside of your head like you're watching a movie of your life and get this spoiler. You are the director. You are the architect. So before we go anywhere, let's make sure that we are all here and we are all here together and focused and really ready. So we're going to do a breathing exercise. It's called the 3-4-5 focused breathing affirmations. We're going to breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly through your nostrils for 5 seconds. So let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. So continue to breathe, sit tall, relax your shoulders, soften your jaw. Place both feet firmly on the ground and let your hands rest gently in your lap. Close your eyes or keep a soft gaze if you're more comfortable, and continue to breathe. Each breath draws your mind into clarity. Feel yourself becoming more focused, more steady, more present. Every inhale strengthens you. Every exhale releases doubt. You are resilient, you are capable, you rise after every challenge. As you breathe, imagine your body filling with positive energy, energy that lifts you, that supports you and aligns with you and your purpose. Let go of everything else outside of your current. Let go of yesterday, this morning, what's going to happen next later on. Right now, be here with us. This moment is yours. And another point of view is really happy to share it with you. So with every breath, you're opening up to learning, absorbing new knowledge. So on count of 5, I'm going to ask you to exhale and open your eyes very slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's go. Metacognition, our first framework. Thinking about your thinking, and this is an educational insight. Metacognition, it sounds like a fancy word, but it's really simple in meaning. What it's saying to you is to upgrade your thinking and not just defend it. It's thinking about your thinking. Most people just have thoughts, but like they're stuck in a river being swept away. Metacognition is now you climbing onto the riverbanks and watching the water flow and being able to take a look at your thinking. Imagine your brain is a phone, let's say, and there are thoughts. Your thoughts are notifications. And most people just react because notifications are going off. Ding, anxiety. Ding, anger. Ding, I'm not good enough. Ding, I made a stupid mistake. Ding, 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 ding. Metacognition is you holding the phone and saying, do I need to answer this notification? Is this thought useful? Or is it just a glitchy app running in the background that I cannot be engaged by? Research shows that just by labeling your thoughts, oh, that's a catastrophe thought, reduces the emotional power by 30% instantly. There's no meditation required here. So understanding your thinking and how you think, it's so very important. So try this one, for example. Think of one stressful thought you've had today. Or now say it out loud. I notice I'm having the thought that. Feel that distance? That's metacognition. That's separation. That's freedom. So it's important to be able to separate your emotions from your communication, your emotions from your behavior, and have different clarity of thought. So it's a great segue now into our other framework called cognitive clarity, which is really cleaning the mental fog. This is relatable and practical here. Let's talk about cognitive clarity, because metacognition is useless if your brain feels like a browser with 87 tabs open and one of them is playing music you cannot find and you're not enjoying the music either. It's kind of funny. But clarity isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing what matters right now. Here's a framework therapists use with CEOs, athletes, overthinking college students, really everybody. The cognitive load audit, where you ask yourself 3 basic questions. What am I carrying that isn't mine? Other people's opinions, past failures, somebody that doesn't live here anymore, past failures that have no power today or on your future. Second question is, what's urgent but not important? What's urgent? That email, that group chat drama that's going to go on for like the next day. And we're all in group chats. They're all fun. There's always drama. But different people have different levels of engagement. So your brain treats it as a fire alarm. But is it? Is it urgent but not important? What's one thing I can fully focus on for 10 minutes without checking my phone? And that's the third and final question. One thing that's valuable that you can fully focus on. And performance psychology says clarity equals speed. So when you know what you're aiming at, you move twice as fast with half the stress and 0 distractions. So cognitive clarity is like clearing your glasses. You're already seeing, but now you see why you kept bumping into things. It's like going to the optometrist for the first time and you get your lens for the first time and you said, wow, it's a different world. So, no, you do not need to clear your mind. You just need to organize it. One segment, one drawer at a time. And that leads us to a really great framework today. Self-awareness, the mirror that does not lie. And this is really insightful and inspiring. Here's the uncomfortable truth from my therapy chair. Most people think they're self-aware, but they're not. And there are actually 2 types. The internal self-awareness, which is knowing your own values, emotions, thoughts. And there's the external self-awareness, knowing how you come across to others. So that's almost like in your blind spot in Johari's window. Guess which one most people suck at? Both, but especially the external. So let me give you a fun trending tool, the 360-degree mirror. Next time you're in a disagreement, pause and ask, if I was a fly on that wall and I heard both of us, no context, no tone, we know the tones, distraction with tones, but just words, who would sound more reasonable? And that's not self-criticism. That's strategic empathy. Strategic empathy comes with self-awareness. And here's the inspiring part of self-awareness. Self-awareness isn't about finding all your flaws, because that's where the fear keeps you in that zone. It's really about finding not your flaws, but your patterns. And patterns can be rewritten once we're aware of our patterns. It's almost like rewriting a new script. One of my clients used to think she was too emotional, and she carried that. After 2 weeks of simple self-check-ins, just rating her mood from 1 to 10 before reacting, self-regulation, we've heard that term before, she realized she wasn't emotional. And this is the best thing. She realized that she was really sleep deprived. On the days that she did not get sleep because of what was going on in the 8 domains of her life, she was very emotional. So the solution from a different point of view was so very different for her. So our next framework really talks about performance, which is what we're about, and why it's important to have another point of view. Reframing pressure into fuel, and this is engaging and actionable, and it must be actionable for performance. So let's get practical. Performance, whether you're an athlete, an artist, a student, or just trying to get through on a Tuesday without spiraling, you need a high performance mindset today. And here's the secret that's blowing up right now, especially in sports psychology. Anxiety and excitement are physiologically identical. Same heart rate, same sweaty pants, same sweaty palms, same rapid breathing. The neuroscience says it's the only difference is the story you tell yourself. So instead of saying, I'm so nervous for this presentation, say, I'm so excited, my body is giving me energy. It sounds silly, but it reworks your performance because you've reframed the pressure and you've now fueled that by having actionable items. And this really leads to a great tool in performance called the 1% shift. And it comes down to getting better 1% every day. You don't need to have a massive overall mindset change. You just need to see one situation from a slightly different angle. So I'll give you an example for students. I failed that test. I'm stupid. 1% shift. I failed that test, so now I know what to focus on and what to study next time. You only lose when you lose the opportunity to learn the lesson. So the shift is about learning the lesson and getting 1% better every day as you shift. That click that you get, that's your brain building a new neural pathway. Over the next 30 days, one tiny reframe rewires your default reaction from threat to challenge. That's neuroplasticity. That's performance. And it costs nothing but a moment of choice. Because this is about performance. And cognitive reframing, third-person talk, and future self-check-ins, these are trending tools that we must not just listen to and say it sounds great, but we must install with commitment. And some of these tools we could just call a few: Cognitive reframing. This is like the therapist's hammer. When you watch a negative thought, ask, what's another way to see this that's equally true, but more useful, more valuable? So this is not positive thinking. This is just alternative thinking. And that's what cognitive reframing is all about. And it's so super powerful. Our next tool will be third-person self-talk. Instead of saying, I'm so anxious, say your own name. Alex, you're feeling anxious. That makes sense. This is important. So what do we need right now? Studies show third-person self-talk reduces activity in the brain's fear center. It creates distance, and distance equals clarity. We see it really with a lot of athletes. If you've ever taken a look at Ronaldo about to take a penalty, he's talking to himself. He says, I'm about to cross the road, and I've been here hundreds of times before. So this is nothing new. I am calm and I'm ready to cross the road. And then he starts to cross the road. He said, crossing the road is where my success is. And I'm excited to cross the road. Let's score. He speaks to himself. So we see it all the time in the sports world. The future self check-in is another tool we hear about. And what's this really? So let's walk through this really quickly. Close your eyes really quickly. Seriously, do it. Close your eyes. Imagine someone in your future, and you are there with them 1 year from now. And you're sitting at a bench. You're wiser, you're calmer. You're having a conversation that you're proud of you. And you ask, what should I stop overthinking? And you ask yourself, you know what you would share, that future version would share with that person? The future version always says something simple. It wasn't that deep. It wasn't that they were rejecting you, they were just busy. That's what we call temporal metacognition, and enough big words for today. But it's really seeing today's problems from tomorrow's point of view and having a conversation about it and realizing it's not that deep. And this is what I really needed to action. It's like a time machine built into your prefrontal cortex, and it's free. So check in with your future self more often. You know, and in concluding today, it's been fun because it's been our first installment, and it's magical, our learning tools. And this is really just an inspiring call to action. So here's where we land. Another point of view isn't about being right or wrong. It's about being free. Free from the trap of your first reaction. Free from the story that kept you stuck. Free to choose clarity over chaos, over curiosity. And be certain. You don't need a new life. You just need a new lens. And every single day you get to decide which lens you wear. Your challenge for today, pick one situation that frustrated you, just one, and ask, how can I love myself more? And if I loved myself more, how would I see things differently? And what would I do to increase that love? And this is not for me, this is for you. The doing part is for you, because the algorithms love engagement, but your mind loves proof. Your mind loves proof. And your mind doesn't really care what you think. Your mind cares what you do, what you action. So if today gave you even one new angle, share it with someone that you love who might be stuck in their own head as well, because mental health has overtaken cancer as the #1 health issue throughout the world. So from another point of view, we look forward to seeing you in our next reframe. So be well, be powerful, be great, be loved by all and yourself.